Let's go. Live from the 856. This is channel 856. This is your boy Danny X.
Jared back at you, episode 6. We in the mix. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. You already know. Once again, we back at it. Episode 6 in the building. We appreciate the support as always. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you know when we uploading. We appreciate the continued support every week. Hope everybody's doing well. It's getting a little cold outside. Winter is upon us. Winter is coming. As we're all pretty big Game of Thrones fans. So, yeah, no, it's getting active in the league. So, as always, we will have the standings right here. And yeah, my co-host is sitting in a lone first place. So, congratulations to you, sir.
Appreciate
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Our points champion is still Scoop with 1064 even. Yeah, some big matchups in the league this week. It was really honestly probably the most not pitiful, pivotal week of the league so far. So I got one over on Kemis. Who would you play? Scoop. Yes, that was you went nuts again with Joe Burrow having his 5 touchdown performance. So
shout out to Burrow.
Yeah, so Joe Shiesty held you down for sure. But yeah, no, so you can see the top 5 obviously on the screen. I'm fighting, right? Like there's this lot, playoff pictures still could be anybody's game. A lot of football left to be played, so I'm just trying to stay in the fight. Compared to everybody else in the postseason, I'm one of the lower point scorers, so I'm just trying to stay afloat and keep winning my matchups. Got Red this week, so really big matchup as he's trying to climb out of the 3-6. So looking forward to it. How does it feel as far as being Scoop and just continuing the run and yeah, just kind of getting a little bit of separation into first place.
I mean, look, definitely came to play. My team, we caught fire, and that's what happens. We just been staying hot. We've been scoring points, staying consistent.
Yep.
So we just ended up holding it down, and first place was on the line. So we made sure we couldn't get that up because it's mad easy to give that up, and then next thing you know, that bye coming into play. So definitely looking forward to just keeping it warm.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Posting up.
Yeah, yep, for sure. So, as far as any waiver wire movement in the league, it's been a pretty quiet couple days since Monday. A lot of defenses. Jawan Jennings, Will Reichert obviously dropping because of his injury. Looks like there were 5 waiver claims this week with the Jets defense, Justice Hill, Detroit Lions, Gasecki, who went berserk on my Raiders, and Ray Davis, who also had he had I think that was like a 70-yard touchdown, almost like 60, 70-yard touchdown had it this past week. So looks like a lot of people are in that mode where it's like tight ends and DSTs and kickers. It's like those buys are coming up. Yeah, for sure. So everybody's trying to, as a point of advice to any fantasy football players that are watching the pod, that it's that time of the year where you got to keep that last spot on the bench is a quality player, but a droppable player for these type of moments, because you don't want to have to expend somebody that could be useful for you, especially with the waiver wires. It gets greedy this time of the year. A lot more injuries start to pop up, and hamstrings and concussions, unfortunately, and all that type of thing. So you definitely want to make sure you keep a player to stash just in case. But yeah, absolutely. So going from that into excuse me, the NFL waiver wires. So Jerry, let's kick it off if you want to start with quarterbacks for the waiver wires for week 10.
Week 10, we got some familiar faces, but there's 2 at the top of my priority list, I'd say. I like what I see with Justin Herbert. I know last 2 games, 561 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 51 rushing yards sneakily. And then our boy Matt Stafford here, 6 touchdown passes to go along with 577 passing yards. So I like what I saw with both of those two recently. Stafford obviously has his two receivers back. Herbert, they've been passing a little bit more, so that's good to see. But familiar, literally, you'll see probably Russell Wilson, Bo Nix, Drake May, Jameis Winston. These are
Yep.
kind of players that I would be still, if they're out there, kind of looking for. But
Yeah, decent
surprise.
enough matchups. Decent enough matchups for sure. As far as some running backs, we got some handcuffs as far as Tajay Spears goes.
It's
Obviously with
rough.
yeah, like the Spears Pollard. Obviously TP's getting more of the shares in the backfield. And he's showing that he can still catch the ball as well, which Tajay was the one that they deferred to catch the ball. So he's kind of taking that a little bit from him as well. So interesting to see that. He's definitely been proven pretty strong for Red this year, and unfortunately, I do have to make sure Derrick Henry continues his success and matches that this week as well. So that should be look forward to facing TP. But yeah, no, Khalil Herbert obviously being a part of the trade deadline, going to Cincinnati, he should be a good complement to Chase Brown. I'm sure we got Chase Brown on the higher starts as well, just with Zach Moss going down, so his share should be going up, his stock's going up. So any Chase Brown owner is my cousin. Go get him if you can in your league, or try to buy while his stock is high. He's definitely going to have a uptick. Blake Corum, Vidal, excuse me, Benson, Brooks got activated. I think this morning or like this afternoon, Brooks got activated
Yeah.
from the pup. So he's looking to be good to go. But I mean, with Hubbard's been balling.
Oh, he's
Bro.
hot. Yeah, he's nice.
Balling, like
He's
for real. That's another running back I gotta face this week. But he's been really toting rock. Like he's been going crazy. So Jalen Warren, Braylon Allen, as we call in our league. I think this was Red actually started that with the Christina Aguilera, Tyler Algier, just because the last name looks the same. Obviously, I'm sure y'all can put two and two together. But yeah, a lot of RB2s, RB3s that guys like Allen, Algier, Herbert, guys you expect to make the most out of their touches. They're definitely a lot of opportunity. There could be some hurdles with guys like Vidal, with Kyron obviously being a horse, excuse me, Corum with Kyron, and Vidal is in LA with J.K. Dobbins. So, how J.K. Dobbins gets down
Gus Edwards coming back
yeah.
too.
Gus Edwards is on his way back as well. So it's gonna get crowded for some of those guys eventually, but. Definitely look at these guys on the board. I'm sure you guys in your leagues that the RB, when you go to players and you click that RB, it's looking real thin. You see like a 7.6 projected, and it's just like, all right, there's really nothing in here for me. So these are some of the guys that we think you might be able to catch on the off the radar, maybe on the radar, but they're definitely going to be guys that you see at the top of the rankings and availabilities in a lot of leagues across the board.
I think one injury away, we're at that point in the season where you just got to secure your backfield, especially some of
Mm-hmm.
these teams like 49ers, Steelers, some of these run heavy teams, Rams, any high powered offense
Yeah.
too, maybe even the Vikings.
And a lot of teams are bad, bro. So like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
that switch might start to flip. Like I was talking about it. Yeah, Jacksonville, Dallas, Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Like some of those teams might be trying to turn over for the quarterback now. You know what I mean? So like, you never know. But I completely agree. But continue. Yeah, no.
No, I'm just anything like just find your running back handcuff and just find the best one. Prioritize that because, like I said, you're one injury away from your third, second, first round pick just collapsing on
Yep.
the field, getting taken off on the stretcher, and now
Yeah.
you're scrambling. You don't have the waiver priority. Now your opponent got a waiver priority, and that's gonna hurt. So do what you got to do, and just according to your roster. But that's the point. I'd prioritize something like that this week, where you're just gonna
Yep.
secure the bag with that.
Somebody we were both talking about pretty highly as far as transitioning to wide receivers go. Demarcus Robinson. Give a little bit of those numbers, and if you want to start off with the wideouts, like I sat him in, I sat him in my work league, I think, and it was like 27.6, like something like that, 27.6. So Matt Stafford still finds a way to get him with Puka going out. He still gets his, got his targets, staying high. But yeah, talk to me about some of these other guys. So I see some, these numbers look pretty good.
Well, Quentin Johnson, shout out to him. Even on a busted play, Denzel Ward blew the coverage. Thought he had safety help.
Yep.
He had 100 yards and a touchdown, first career 100-yard game. So, like I said, the Chargers been playing well. They've been passing more. He's a player I'd look at. First round draft pick from last year. Anytime he can drop a ball, though, so he's liable to be a liability.
Yeah.
But the play upside is there. You can tell, too, second year, maybe a little bit more time. But he's a player I got my eye on. He's on my radar.
Yep.
Cedric Tillman, he's on bye this week, but still love what I'm seeing from him. Last 3 games, 32 targets, 21 receptions, 255 yards, 3 touchdowns. So he's definitely, creeping into that flex territory, replacing players. Receivers this year has been taking a hit. So I think you can do worse than Cedric Tillman, so don't be bougie.
Yeah.
The name, whatever, ain't going to impress too many people.
Yeah.
But he's a decent flex. Same one I'm looking at too, just creeping on radars, definitely in deeper leagues. Xavier Leggett.
You've been riding dollar bill last couple of weeks, bro.
last 3 games or 4 games, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Depending on the quarterback, hopefully better quarterback play from Young or Dalton, but he's someone, the role's there without Thielen too.
No Deontay as well.
Yeah, Deontay Johnson traded, so his role's only increasing. He's only getting better. He's definitely worth an ad. And then you got, like you said, I got another one I like deep at leagues and maybe just to prioritize him for, weeks down the road. Mike Williams, he just got traded to the Steelers.
Yep.
That team actually did need a receiver to take some pressure off Pickens.
Yep.
We've seen Russell throwing the ball well deep. Mike Williams is a deep ball receiver, contested receiver, maybe in the red zone that could, work out. You saw Russell with Courtland Sutton. So that's a player I kind of look at sneaky. Maybe for the, down the stretch, or maybe, bye week, a heavy bye week, like week 11 or 12.
So to play a little devil's advocate, to those people, like, obviously you're in the waiver wire and you see Leggett, right? It's the Panthers. Mm-hmm. It's a below average quarterback. Like, talk a little bit about why that's still a good play, because even despite the team success, is still, the individual.
So, like, I'd give you a good example is, like, usually I'll chase receptions. And Keenan Allen this week's coming off of, targets. I usually chase. So, right. Keenan Allen's coming off a game he just had over double-digit targets.
Right.
He turned that into 5 points. Xavier Leggett, in 1 target, has scored a touchdown in 3 or 4 games. Outscored him in the week. So, it's like, for the most part, it's like, obviously the volume. I want targets, but I also want valuable targets. And hopefully efficient, because if you're just throwing the ball in the end zone and praying and then double coverage, that's not really, it doesn't matter if it's
not productive.
Exactly. Yeah. So I kind of definitely factor in that. But I just want someone that's actually involved in the game plan, who I know, okay, he's going to be involved and he's going to be prioritized.
Reps, yeah.
Someone like a Rashard Bateman, from week to week, you're kind of just chasing upside. Like, I feel like Leggett, if you're in a bind, he's definitely a flex. If in a crunch, there's a lot of receivers out. But, he's worth a roster spot at this point in the season.
Wow, for surely. And even a guy like Quentin Johnson, right? I was in my work, excuse me, my work league was a 14-man, and he was one of those people I prioritized when I drafted him, because I thought he was going to do what he's starting to unfold with last year. So it's good to see that he had that opportunity with Harbaugh there, and Herbert starting to look like Herbert of, his rookie, sophomore year, third year. He's starting to look, get back to what he was known to do, and, sling the ball over the field, throw touchdowns, escape with his feet. So shout out to Jay Swervo being able to get back to, because I got to start him now in one of my other leagues with Prescott going out. So they're looking like they're trying to tank for Ashton Genty, to be honest with you. But yeah, no, it's moving well. Shout out to Quentin. Unfortunately, the Chargers are, looking good. But moving on to tight ends, it's funny that it's fitting that, that I get this week with Gesicki obviously being probably the highest waiver wire player. So, last 2 games without Higgins, having 14 targets, 12 receptions, buck 73, 2 tubs, uh, 2 tubs being on the Raiders. Doing that ugly ass gritty all in the end zone. So, but shout out to him. He's found a way to stay relevant throughout the league, found a relevant stay on the different teams that he keeps getting. Being a little bit of a journeyman, being able to still stay valuable to find his way to good quarterbacks. I'm pretty sure being with Josh Allen and being with Tua, and now having Burrow, he's found his way to staying productive and. Looks like he's kind of ring chasing. All these top heavy teams, but the Bengals
chasing the contract.
Yeah, facts.
Job.
Facts. But to move on to the next one, we got a couple of the usual suspects like Hunter Henry, Zach Ertz, like from last week, but Hawkinson, Vikings are still pretty steady, moving and grooving in the NFC North, so his snaps are increasing, looking like T.J. Hawkinson of old, flying around. I think that's just a side point. I think Brock Bowers, that was like the first tight end I thought of before like Kelsey or Kittle, because they're all like those receiver-esque tight ends. You remind me a lot of Hawkinson because they're like both like wider like top heavy tight ends, but they still got a lot of like route running ability, still got great blocking ability. So I see it like Brock Bowers being like a more of like a Hawkinson hybrid. But he's looking good. Sam Darnold's been very impressive. I'd be surprised if he doesn't win comeback player or not comeback player of the year. I think that does the NFL do a most improved? I don't think they do actually. But if they consider like the comeback award like someone who's like come back for like not having much injury or not, like I think he should be in the consideration for sure if there's some type of award for that with the NFL honors. But K. Dotton, obviously with with the Bucks, he's just proven to be just sturdy flow in their offense. Continue this past Monday against the Chiefs.
I even go one more, kind of like on a deeper play, maybe Johnny Smith if he's out there.
I actually just picked him up in one of my sleeper leagues. I think that's a great play. I think Tua, watching a decent amount of Dolphins, with between my leagues, like he's usually the guy that he throws his bailout ball to. Like if he's underneath. He's right there, and like I'm like, who's this 9? Like who's 9? And then find out it was Johnny. I was like, okay, yeah. Like he's another one of those like guys like Gesicki finds a contract and stays relevant as well. Mm-hmm. So that's a good shout. He's definitely pretty productive and proven to be solid. I mean, Reek didn't score last week.
I don't know what's going on with them over there.
Yeah, so
they're acting silly
for sure. But I'll kick it back to you for the DSTs.
Dude, another one. It's just with the injuries and all that from this past week. Philly, if they're still out there, I know they had a last couple of weeks, spike weeks on their season with their schedule. So if they're out there, definitely a great play without Dak. Atlanta, sneakily, I think they could be a good play without a lot of a division game. Teams know each other well.
Believe they're home too.
Yeah, so I would like that. Atlanta, and too a dome, so you don't have no weather concerns. And then I actually like Detroit a lot without Nico Collins. I actually like that play. If Nico Collins is back, obviously it takes a little damper on that, but could be a strong sneaky play. Kansas City, I'm enjoying this week versus Denver, but I do think Bo Nix still has an opportunity to put up points. That defense doesn't, cause havoc. Or at least hasn't caused too much havoc this year. Mm-hmm. And then last, I might even, if it's desperation, Hail Mary, upside play, I would look at the Giants versus the Panthers. I mean,
Germany game too.
Yeah, you
could be different.
Could be crazy. I don't know the turf over there. Weather I would have to look into, but that's a game, 2 teams where it could get ugly.
Yeah, 100%. I don't know how that, you always want to consider the Panthers as a play. If they're playing the Panthers, you might want to just consider whoever is on the field. So
easily.
Always something you got to consider when Carolina's on the schedule. But as far as kickers, we got 4 this week. We got Moody, Romo, Sanders and Joseph. Couple guys went down, so you might want to go get a kicker. They're definitely at a surplus right now if you need one. So definitely go try and stash a couple. High powered offenses. Those 4 kickers. if they're not gonna get one, they're going for three. So, you know, a lot of these kickers are showing off this year too, trying to get 40. A lot of them are just kicking in the 50s, trying to hit low 60s. So you're gonna get 4 or 5 points. So kickers are a lot more valuable than in yesteryear. They're 8 to 11 versus the 4 to 7 that it might be used to.
11s and up sometimes.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, kicker kept me in my game with Kemis last week. Justin Tucker will continue to score. If they're not scoring, they're kicking field goals. So, but before we move forward, just want to kick it back to week 9. Obviously, the Jets started the week 9 off with a dub on Halloween against the Texans. So
Yes,
shout out
sir.
to y'all. 1-7 looked fantastic after.
You seen what happened last 2 years, Scoop. You seen what happened.
Yeah, last 2 years been got a little real estate. So Scoop, talk to him. But yeah, I mean, a couple of the highlights. Raiders lost again, so I'm a broken record on this podcast again. Getting crushed, five passing touchdowns from Joe Burr. Eagles pulled out a good win. I feel like if there's any other elite tier quarterback in that game, they lose, personally. But Bills get a tight one against the Dolphins. I think one of my favorite game of the week was the Rams Seahawks, just because it was just very competitive at the end.
Seahawks gave that game away.
Yeah, Seahawks definitely gave that game away, but it's a pretty good game. Cardinals dominating the Bears. Let's see what else. Commanders over the Giants. What else we got here? Chiefs over, the Bucks over on Monday Night Football. Sunday night game, Vikings were over the Colts. Any game stuck out to you? And the Ravens hung 41 on the Broncos, so that was a high-scoring team of the week with the Bengals.
I definitely liked what I saw from the Kansas City and the Bucks game. For me, I think probably the most entertaining was probably that Miami Dolphins and Buffalo Bills game. That was a good one. AFC showdown. I like that.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Thursday night game, watching Garrett Wilson take flight and score twice on the Texans, right on somebody's neck on national television. That was really cool, too. So, but then, seeing Devontae score, that was also cool because, seeing Rodgers bring the connection over here.
Fire.
Definitely good time. So, shout out to the Jets and shout out to the Texans for being food.
Oh man, facts. So let's go on to we can cover our league's matchups and then we'll get into the rankings. We've got another guest player. Let's see if I can get a better record this week. So looking forward to that. It's always getting turned into one of my favorite parts of the pod, for sure. So as far as this week's matchups, myself, like I mentioned, I'll be facing Team Red. Being 5-4, he's 3-6. He's definitely looking to get into the playoff picture for that 6th seed. I see we got Chris Love and Jersey Kings this week. So Quinn, looks like got a couple buys. So get a little tough, but it looks like you got Rico. I think Rico Dow's gonna be a tough play in your flex. That's a shout out. That's a good play. Definitely a good play. Achon's been a baller, so
he's different with Tua.
Yeah, he's different for sure. Yeah, so that's a big game. Obviously, Chris trying to get to 500. Scoop and Zaire. Zaire trying to get to 500. Scoop trying to, obviously with the amount of points he's scoring, you would think he'd have a better, record than 5-4. But he's definitely, his point against is very high as well. So he's, getting into a lot of shootouts. But that should be an interesting game. And then Foom and Kemis. Kemis, change the picture, bro. Please. I'm tired of looking at me in the damn bunny suit. It's killing me. Foom and Kemis this week, and then Adams Army, which is my guy CP, and then Pittman University, which is my guy Steen, playing this week. And then Jared, you got Lex Ducey. So our first guest on the pod. So yeah.
Shout out Lex Ducey.
Any of those matchups you looking at? I know like the 4 and 5 versus the 5 and 4s are always interesting just because.
Scoop and Zaire, I think that's one I'm looking at. Two strong teams kind of colliding with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And Zaire lost to Olave. No Jaden Reed.
He shook up his team a little bit too, so that's one team I'm kind of looking at, seeing what they're doing, what they're gonna do type. So
Yeah.
that's when I got on, under my eyes or under my radar there.
Yeah, especially because just from like right now. Luckily, I did beat Scoop, so I will have that tiebreaker. So I will say this with a little bit more confidence than I would usually. Like I feel like out of the 5 and 4s, I can get in because I do have the tiebreakers over every other 5 and 4 now, which is clutch as hell.
Oh,
Like yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's
that's
like I
love.
beat Scoop, who's 5 and 4. I beat Keemus, who's 5 and 4, and then I beat Zaire, who's right under them.
So you
So
have to win every time that they lose.
yeah,
Or sorry,
exactly.
you can't lose any time that they win.
Yeah, exactly. So that's solid for now. But like I think like just Scoop with his points, he's gonna put himself in a great position to beat any other tiebreaker besides myself because with the matchups. So it could get ugly. So I think that he's definitely someone to watch out for because he hangs a lot of points. So um I think that's a good. I think that's the matchup of the week as well. I think that'll be a good one. Just to see, even the Fum and Kimis. Fum is quietly one of those 4 and 5 teams that's
He's on a win
trending
streak.
upward. I
Arrow's pointing up.
Yeah, for sure. So as far as just win streaks go, you're on a 5 game. CP's on a 3 game. Fum's on a 2 game, and then obviously the rest of theirs are ones, and then we got a couple 4 game losing streaks.
Yo, hey yo, a month,
A month of losing.
a calendar.
So I'll make sure we have to tell Steen and Lex that they're on a month of losing. So, interesting.
That hurt.
So from there, let's go into the rankings. So week 10. Dang, I can't believe we're 2.5 months in.
Yo,
2.5 months into the season. More than halfway now at this point as far as regular season goes.
definitely.
We're into that time where football is a staple of life with holidays and everything. Kind of like, it's kind of like centered like around the events in life with the fall, and it's pretty dope too. And it's like a lot of the division games were backloaded this year. Like I was talking to one of my coworkers who's a Steelers fan.
Yeah,
They have
like
all
six
six of their they have
yeah.
all 6 of their division games still, which is nuts. So yeah, no, it's gonna be turning up, especially this week with the Bengals Ravens starting off on Thursday night and the Dolphins Rams ending on Monday night. So should be a dope week of football. But I'll kick it off to you if you want to start with our green lights for rankings this week for quarterbacks.
Look, I like to start my studs. I'm gonna tell you, yell from the rooftop. So keep with your guys that's bringing you through the 10 weeks.
Yep.
But some, a couple that I like again sneakily. Even in a tough matchup, I think maybe Kirk Cousins. I like getting it done. Tua this week is someone I could look to if I'm desperate. Jared Goff with low passing volume, somebody I definitely would give a shot. But again, somebody like a lot of bye weeks are into play. He'd be a QB2 option this week. I'd give a go. He has options. Gets Jameson Williams back.
Yeah.
Well coached team. So
Way more. Yep. Facts.
Definitely higher on this week though. Sam Darnold. They play the Jags. Think he could have a nice rebound game versus them.
Pass defense is shaky.
Oh man! And then speaking of pass defense, Kirk Cousins versus the Saints. They just got rid of Marshawn Lattimore.
Yep.
So I definitely think there'd be a drop off defensively from them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, coming out of bye, I really do like Brock Purdy this week. He's for me one of my top 4 or 5 quarterbacks on the week. I think he comes back. If CMC's ready to go, I think that offense could have some sparks this week.
I do think I don't know if it's going to be a tough travel or not, but I do think it leans a little bit tough travel. Niners favor 6.5 this early, going all the way to Tampa. It just seems not like a trap, but I think that the Bucks have been competing better than that for it to be a 6.5 line this early in the week. So I do agree that Purdy's. I think he's been the most surprised as far as consistency. As far as a fantasy football quarterback outside of maybe like Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold.
Baker is fine. He's definitely the one I think he's most surprising for me this year. Yeah. I like what I saw when I see him.
Yeah, between him and not like I was saying with the most improved, like whatever it is, they've made like noticeable marginal just like success and just balling.
Leaps.
Yeah, leaps. Exactly. exactly.
He's playing well, even without his receivers too. So shout out Baker for real.
Yeah, no, for sure. As far as pump the brakes for quarterbacks, I would say C.J. Stroud, especially if Collins doesn't play. They're trending in a weird way. Like, I don't know if it's just the defense isn't as stout as,
It's their
or
pass
yeah,
blocking.
the pass blocking is awful. I mean, Jaden Daniels is, I mean, I keep saying Jaden Daniels. He's right under Stroud. So Stroud is running for his life all the time. Like on Thursday, he was literally just running for his life all night. Like so, the pass protection definitely needs to get better so he can sit in the pocket and go through his reads and figure out who's out there and open. But until that gets settled out, pump the brakes. I had him. I think he ended up with like maybe scraping 10 points, but for the most of the game, he had like 5 points as far as fantasy points go. Jaden Daniels as well, with the Commanders having to.
Play the Steelers.
Yeah, they played the Steelers scrappy. One of those like I think not a welcome to the NFL moment. I think he's had enough of those now. But it's like all right, like this is your first. Yeah, exactly. So it's like 6-2, 7-2, like
So
big.
yeah,
It's like, a big time game. It's a big time game versus a tough nosed defense that just added Preston Smith.
Oh my god!
Like their front seven is nasty. So
just go rush the quarterback.
They're on you. Like so, it's his ribs, right?
I believe so.
Wear your jacket. Wear the ribs jacket. Wear that protective joint. Like wear it because you're gonna be either running for your life or you're gonna be, Terry gonna be helping you up a lot of plays. So make sure you're ready. You locked and loaded, Jaden. But Pat Mahomes, the Chiefs have the Broncos, right?
Yeah.
Tough game. PS2 is a monster. Cuts some of the field off. Makes you have to play. Makes you have to improvise. Obviously, there's no better quarterback than Pat, but to improvise. But it's a divisional game. The Broncos are proven to be competitive. Being 5-4, I wasn't expecting that. Jet says it all the time. Like I think their line was 5.5 for the season. So to be at 5-4 now through week 10 is pretty impressive. I think overachieved than what people were expecting. So shout out to the Broncos. But and they're right next to each other for our pump the brakes, Pat and Bo Nix. Like it's just gonna be probably a scrappy dogfight game. Two solid physical defenses running the ball. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like in Kansas City, it's only getting colder. Arrowhead, just like icy, freezy, just tight weather game. So definitely pump the brakes on those. They're definitely both obviously. Pump the brakes doesn't slow all the way down. Like they're also, if you're kind of in a jam, they can still go get some points for you. So another two, they just played each other, Kyler and Caleb. I mean, you saw how that game played out. You saw how it kind of just looked. It wasn't like too flashy from either side. They weren't overly producing as far as fantasy points go. It was a good game, as far as football goes, but as far as fantasy goes, it's a little tough. And then obviously those quarterbacks teams that are kind of struggling, Flacco's, the Mays, Derek Carr losing Olave, T-Law, just kind of just finding their way, trying to figure out what their identity is going to be in this second phase of the season. But I'll kick it back to you for the running back green lights.
Start your studs again, but no, for real. I'm honestly, there's a few this week that I kind of like a lot more. People think. I think what was it, Tyrone Tracy? He's someone I'm looking at definitely firing up this week with confidence.
Yeah.
He's definitely looks like he's taking over that job, and it's just honestly the better player. Devin Singletary, I think he had 5 carries this last game. Mm-hmm. So again, unfortunately, it looks like his time as a lead back is over.
Cooked.
Definitely, if you have Chase Brown, go ahead and start him on Thursday. Get him out your flex. Put him in the running back spot. Don't be silly. You know why. If you don't know why, if something were to happen to one of your running backs on Saturday afternoon or Sunday morning in practice,
flex is washed.
Exactly. Flex is washed. Now you're going to be looking silly when you could have had him there and running back. But like I said, fire him up. I like him. Will Herbert's going to need some more time to get adjusted over there. And also, like this week, I want to say, I kind of like remind you the Steelers to stay hot. Like, I think that competitive game versus the Bears, they can't, like, I don't think the Patriots going to throw on the Bears. I think the Patriots going to run the ball. Bears giving up, I think, like 5 yards to carry. So that's one where sneakily he's been someone that's like definitely just keeping the pace for you if you have him
Yep,
in your lineup. So he's a good option for me.
for surely. Yeah. As far as yeah, no, I like a lot of these guys.
I don't like to be. You touched on him too, though. Rico Dowdle
Yeah.
this week. I don't know. How do you feel about that with the Cowboys without Dak and going? Are they home versus the Eagles?
They are home versus the Eagles.
Home versus the Eagles. So how do you feel about that? Having that as an option.
It's. I'm curious if they've ever thought to take a flyer on Trey Lance.
Is he
Like, why not? Why not?
Is he work? They see him in practice every day.
That's what I'm saying. Why? Like, why not? You know what I mean? It's got to be some sort of higher opportunity to be like electric than Cooper Rush.
He held it down for a couple
He's
games.
decent. It's decent. No, I agree. But like, I don't know. I just wonder because like it needs like it needs a little bit more of like a spark than that. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
And I say that to say that would be what would get Rico going. Like Cooper Rush's style of play and style of throwing is, you know, it's not conducive. It's 4 to Tolbert, 3 to Tolbert. Try to get 16 to CD. All right, and then Rico, Zeke. You know what I mean? Like it's just not conducive to Rico to being successful because the pass game is not overly threatening. So that's why I asked if Trey Lance is there and can provide the legs and the ability to throw a bomb. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
it's the
five picks in the preseason. So I don't know if he's ready to do that versus a defense, a real defense.
Yeah, especially Philly. Maybe Philly's not the litmus test for him for the first game. Maybe that's not a smart idea. So, but yeah, no, I think Rico Dowdle. I mean, the Eagles, right? Like sometimes, like runners get off on the Eagles. Sometimes they just completely don't. But I think that it all depends on it all depends on if Cooper Rush is going to have the ability to offset it. Like, can you make as much of a threat with your arm so Rico Dowdle can get off? I think that's the question. So yeah, no, Etienne, Bigsby, some of those like duo backs like White and Irving in Tampa, Javonte against like we were saying that game's gonna be scrappy. So who knows how much production he'll get. So those are the 6 running backs from Pump the Brakes. Going to wide receivers, obviously again start your stars. Don't need to name them. You know who they are. As far as like after that, I think Puka's gonna snap this week. Getting that ridiculous ejection
is
like
terrible.
So I think he's gonna wild out this week. The Rams play in prime time against the Dolphins at the crib.
Monday.
I think that Monday night. Yep. So I think that'll be prime time for him to go off. Zay Flowers has been balling outside of that 11-yard week. He has been balling. So I think Zay Flowers is one to keep your eye on as well.
Big time.
Monitor Devontae Smith. I know he got banged up. I saw he went from healthy to questionable on my sleeper app.
AJ Brown too. There's a few. But.
Yeah. Yep. For sure. I think one to not even just like we talking about him on waiver, but I think it's a solid start. Is like Leggett, like we were talking about. Like despite like the wide receiver room's thin, he's gonna get the ball. He's the one they drafted. He's the first round draft pick.
Have you seen Deontay Banks in coverage?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, he's a kid's meal.
Swiss cheese.
Oh my god, he's just all it takes is one play.
Yeah.
25-yard touchdown.
100%. 100%. And who are your pump to break wideouts though?
CeeDee Lamb is my first one of the week. Again, I'm not too sure about Cooper Rush. Even if they try to like pivot him in the slot and try to like get matchups, I think Cooper DeJean, he's starting to play well.
Mm-hmm.
Quinton Mitchell starting to play well over there. Like I can see that team definitely having a chance to minimize CD and kind of limit him to maybe under 75 yards receiving.
I mean, it's Eagles Cowboys gotta be choppy, right?
It's gotta be, but the Eagles defense, they've been playing well the last few
Absolutely.
weeks. So, and I'll be honest, Cowboys just in terrible form. So that's a player where unfortunately you're gonna be looking at a floor kind of week. I feel like.
Yeah.
definitely for me, pump the brakes. I'm not feeling the Chargers receivers. Like, I'll be honest, I like the pass game, but just it's too much of a roll of dice for me. Like one week it could be Lad McConkey, next
Palmer.
week it could be, I was gonna say this week it
Yeah.
could be Palmer, it could be two of the three.
Yeah.
So me, I'm willing to play one. I like Lad McConkey at all of them, but I do think it's a little bit of a risk involved. But I do, like we said earlier, I like Quentin Johnson. All it's just if I don't have the options or if I'm desperate with these injuries or anything. But
And if
you
he's
know,
in form, feed him. If he's in form, right? You don't get
they're
an informed
worthwhile.
Quentin Johnson all the time. So like, if he's in form, feed him.
They're definitely pieces of the pie over there. They're worthwhile shots, but
Yeah.
it's a risk. You could definitely airball. So Calvin Ridley, I know they said Will Levis is coming back. Could be, but I'm not touching anything Calvin Ridley. I'm sorry. I
The
like.
Mayo Man.
I don't know. This week is gonna be tough though because they got Christian Gonzalez, and I feel like that's a shadow matchup or potential shadow matchup. Kind of the same thing for Marvin Harrison with Sauce and DJ Reed. Hopefully more so DJ Reed because Sauce Gardner has definitely regressed this year. Played much better last 2 years, but has the potential for me. I can see Marvin Harrison shrinking again this week. Deontay Johnson, I'm not playing. He just probably doesn't have enough snaps just yet with the Ravens for me to be desperate enough to play him. Can't do it. He just got traded over there.
Nah, for sure.
Sutton, that's a Trent McDuffie again shadow situation. So at your will, maybe he's involved. Maybe again score on him, but I would kind of go a different direction. Tank Dell definitely don't like if Collins isn't back. If he's back, I could definitely conceive the upside playing him. Jameis Williams off suspension 2 games. I don't know how much they're going to utilize him. He's been out of rhythm. I don't know if he got to play a number two, but I don't know if they're going to be a focal point. And then I have somebody that I'm very uninspired right now to play is Jalen Waddle. I
Mm-hmm.
saw his play last week. I wasn't sure what that was technically about, but I understand it was a lateral.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't get enough target right now for me to say.
He needs catches to go.
Yeah,
He needs like 7 to 9, like to get going.
He needs
for
some
sure.
love for sure. Pause.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta.
Diddy.
I gotta start Tank Dell this week with all these freaking buys that I got on my team. Unless I go fishing for a wideout at this point, I think it's slow. Who they got out there? I mean, Johnson, Robinson. I could take a flyer on
Keenan
Robinson.
Allen again after injuries and more injuries at wide receiver position. But we carry it on. We don't make excuses. We just keep it rocking and rolling.
Yeah, I think moving on to tight ends, the green lights. I feel like the green lights are some of the more waiver guys. The Jonnu Smiths, the Taysom Hills, the T.J. Hawkinsons. Well, Mark Andrews is trending upward. Evan Ingram's getting great reps again. Kittle, Kelsey. Those are like good options. McBride, obviously Pitts. Like those are good options, like the elite guys. But I think some of these, some of these lower waiver streamer guys are playing well. They're with quarterbacks that need to lean on them, so they're going to get their reps. Those third down conversions, those check downs, intermediate ball. Excuse me. So I think that a lot of them will flourish. I think they'll continue to flourish. I had to grab Taysom Hill in one of my leagues for a waiver. Grab Jonnu Smith, like I mentioned earlier on the pod. So I think that those are really good plays. So as far as any tight ends that stick out to you?
I definitely really rock with K-Dot, and I feel like tight end position waiver of the year. I'll be honest, there used to be some options. For first week of the season, it looked like it was going to be Isaiah Likely.
Yeah.
Tucker Kraft's a player that I've enjoyed this year.
For sure.
But my favorite, I'll be honest, I really didn't know much about K-Dot and going into the season. He wasn't on my radar. But just watching him play, athletic, and then he's attached to Baker, breakout season.
Tough as shit.
Yeah, it just seems like that's a great player to own right now. Definitely for season long. This week, Mike Gesicki, I'm firing up, and I'm not thinking twice, and I'm looking forward to playing him. He is involved when T. Higgins is not there. He is not a tight end. He is a slot receiver that's 6'5", or whatever he is, 6'6". Yeah, he's going up top on somebody, and it's going to be somebody little, and he's going to be in the red zone catching passes from Joe Burrow. So if you need a tight end this week on bye, on injury, he's a strong play. And I think maybe 2-1 coming back. Dallas Goedert versus the Cowboys. I can see him maybe having a nice return to form. AJ Brown, depending on what the situation is with over there, I can see maybe a need for having Goddard back on the field, maybe to stretch in the middle of the field around. So
Yeah.
even the Panthers young boy though, Sanders,
Yep.
he's somebody maybe in a dynasty format, super duper deep league, something like that. But he'd be a player I'm looking at. Just get my eye on for a
Yeah.
hot second.
No question. Pump the brakes. Yeah, maybe don't go too crazy on the Sam Laporta, the Hunter Henry, the Ferguson, Ertz, Komet. Laporta, it's a lot of mouths to feed, and sometimes he's the one that just gets the short end of the stick with Waymo, St. Brown, Demo, Jameer is always liable to crib something. So it's like against the Texans, yeah,
Montgomery.
Demo, like it's crazy. Like they got a lot of weapons over there.
Oh, yeah.
So you gotta make sure everyone gets fed. Sometimes it's tough with, you know, tight end gets you down the field, but if your running backs are doing it and your receivers are doing it, like you might not need them as much. So it's tough. He very, I know his ADP was super high this year, but just gets a little tough.
They don't throw the ball that much, I feel like, this
No,
year. So
another guy like Hunter Henry playing at Chicago, just tough nose defense. The Bears' identity for decades now continues to live on now, so that's just a tough play in itself. Pretty obvious they're favorite heavy. Jake Ferguson, no Dak Prescott. Dak usually pretty good at feeding Jake. Without him, who knows? Cooper Rush might need to lead on his tight end, but we'll see. We'll see.
You play at your own risk.
Play at your own risk for sure. And that's the same thing with Ertz and Komet, like, because the same reason we were talking about Kyler and Caleb. You don't know which versions you're going to get out of those players. And then, do you want to just do the kickers on screenshot? Yeah, right here. We'll have our green lights for kickers. And then we'll have our green lights for DST right here.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So, yeah, we appreciate y'all for, stay in tune with us, trusting us with our picks. I know my bro Jared does a lot of work over here, getting the analytics and numbers games ahead of everything and making sure we're prepared. So I appreciate all the numbers and making sure we sound real educated on here. So yeah, absolutely. So about that time, guess that player time. I need to do better. I've been watching them back and I barely get to half. So I'm trying to get it going. So talk to me, Jared.
All right, we're gonna throw one. We're gonna throw one down the middle, and we're gonna see what it's hitting for today.
Okay.
All right, so this player definitely caught me off guard a little bit, caught my eye. I'm actually going, you'll catch the vibe of the theme of this week for the players. But this player was running back 2 last year. So, yeah, he was going in running back 2, averaging 16.2 points per game, and finishing with 255 total points last year. 200 plus attempts, 1,000 plus yards, 18 touchdowns, 4.8 yards per carry. Looks like 3 receiving touchdowns, 175 receiving yards, 25 receptions on 32 targets.
HN.
No. Keep in mind, this year, that same player is actually running back 49, averaging just at 8 points a game, 40 total points. 55 attempts, 214 rushing yards.
Oh, I got it.
3.9 yards per carry, 7 receptions for 71 yards.
His teammate, Raheem Mostert.
It is his teammate.
Raheem Mostert.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, it was.
How quickly somebody can fall down, not even down the hill, but just like, injuries can take place, but just change, not even a change of scenery. They extended him, and you would think, he'd be a little bit more involved, but injuries and interesting this year with him.
No, 100%.
We're gonna stay with that same running back group here. I'm looking at the RB 40 on the year, averaging under 8 points, 7.75, total 54 on the year. He has 59 rush attempts for 254 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns, 4.3 yards per carry, 26 targets, 18 catches for 69 yards and no touchdowns. Same player last year was RB3, averaging 16.3 points per game, 253.40 total points, 267 attempts for 1,008 yards, 11 touchdowns, Still at 3.8 yards per carry, but 73 targets, 54 catches, 476 receiving, and a touchdown. So, player was definitely had much better success last year. Similar environment actually this year, but
Etienne.
definitely another one. Again, it's an easier pick this year, but this one
2 for 2
was interesting.
Nah, I mean, I kind of did on. It was his teammate. I was close. I'll take it though. Let's go.
I like this. Definitely heating up this week. I want to go with another one. Player last year, high draft pick from a year ago, even into this year. Currently, wide receiver 31, averaging 14.75 points per game, 73 points on the year, just under 74. 34 targets, 23 catches for 444 yards, 3 touchdowns, and only has 1 red zone target on the year. I thought that was the most surprising. This year, last year, he was wide receiver 8, 236 total points, 158 targets, 106 receptions, 1,456 yards, 7 touchdowns. So he was hooping last year.
Mr. Ayuk?
Not Ayuk, no. That was a good catch, though. Good guess.
His teammate, Debo? Okay. I was thinking that. Okay.
He's missed some time this year.
What did he finish at wide receiver at last year?
Wide receiver 8.
DK. AFC or NFC? I'm cooked on this
NFC.
one. NFC. Okay. That's all I need. I'll take that from there. All right. St. Brown's performing at the same level. Jettas is performing at the same level. Think of bigger NFC teams. AJ Brown?
AJ Brown.
Okay, cool. All right.
Yo, that's one I thought I was like really surprised because he's actually my sister's favorite player on the Eagles, and I was looking at his stats like, dang, definitely had some bad injury luck this year, so hopefully he gets right. And then my last pick for name that segment of the week, I got a DST, so we're gonna throw the curveball at you last.
DST, okay.
Currently, the 22nd ranked DST, averaging under 5.5 points a game.
Horrible.
48 total points a game, or on the season, I should say.
Jeez.
Actually allowing 24 points per game in real life football.
Horrible.
1 double-digit game for fantasy. 28 total sacks, 6 picks, 5 fumbles forced, 3 recoveries, no safeties. Last year they had 174 total points. They were obviously the number 1 ranked defense, allowing under 16 points a game in real football. 1 TD they had defensively on the year, but 60 sacks, 18 picks, 16 fumbles forced, 13 recovered, and a safety. So last year definitely was wreaking havoc.
Dog pound Browns. Wow, I was confident in that. Walked right out of it, into it, and out of it. They finished as the number 1 defense last year. They were tough. Shit. The Chiefs? I have a feeling they finished up there. They just finished well. Pittsburgh.
They're humming this year defensively.
Green Bay?
No, good guess though.
Indy? AFC or NFC?
AFC. You got this.
Oh, be more.
Yeah. Last year they were defensively. They could win games. This year, oh my God, they're cooked. Especially out wide. I don't know what it is. Marlon Humphreys, Wiggins. I don't know, but there's somebody where I'm just like,
Who'd they just sign?
Do it matter? I don't even know who you talking about. I know the trade for
Tre'Davious White.
Oh, they traded for him.
Tre'Davious White,
No, you're right. They did
cornerback.
trade.
Yeah.
He's what, 35, 34, like 33.
Pretty aged, yeah.
Not worried about him. But again, he's definitely a good player, veteran. But athletically, I think his best days are behind him. I'd like for him to be guarding one of my young, speedy receivers for sure.
Yeah. All right, so I'll take 2 for 4. I get 50% again. That was solid. That was solid. How we doing on time? How far are we into it, Q? We at 55? Bet. All right, for sure. All right, bet. Rapid fire.
Rapid fire.
All right, let's get it. All right, we will start from Thursday night, go to Monday night, and Bengals Ravens.
I want the Bengals to win.
I was about to say you've been hyping them up. I thought you were gonna go there. Eagles Cowboys.
Eagles gonna roll the Cowboys.
Giants Panthers in Germany.
I want the Giants to win.
Broncos Chiefs.
I want the Broncos to win, but they're gonna have to beat the Chiefs and the refs, and it's not gonna happen. If it does, I'll be hyped though.
Favorite 8 early. Steelers. Yeah, that's it. Steelers Commanders.
I think the Steelers are gonna win, but it'd be cool if the Commanders went out and won.
Vikings Jags.
Vikings should roll.
Falcons Saints.
Falcons should roll.
Niners Bucks.
I actually want the Bucks to win.
Agreed. Bills Colts.
I hope the Colts can rebound and beat the Bills, but I think the Bills roll.
Agreed. Patriots Bears.
The Bears.
Da Bears. Titans Chargers.
Chargers.
Jets Cardinals.
If the Jets don't win, we're gonna have some problems.
Season might be over. Lions Texans.
Close.
It's close. Lions Texans.
Let's go Lions.
I can't believe the Texans are 6-3. They don't look like it. Dolphins Rams.
Let's go Rams.
Here you go, sir.
Let's get to it. We're gonna go backwards on them.
All right, I bet.
Who you got? Rams or Dolphins?
Dolphins.
Texans or Lions?
Lions.
Jets, Cardinals.
Jets.
Chargers, Titans.
Titans at home.
Titans are on the road.
Chargers.
Bears, Patriots. I like that because the Titans are an East Coast team.
For sure. Bears bounce back.
Bears, I like that. Bills, Colts.
Bills.
Bucks, Niners.
Want the Bucks to win as well.
Saints, Falcons.
Falcons roll, as you said.
Jaguars, Vikes.
Vikings roll, as you said.
Commanders, Steelers. I think
that Pittsburgh defense is gonna be like, he's gonna be like, oh shit, what just happened? Pittsburgh.
I think that's like what I usually try to do is I try to watch games. Sorry, I don't.
No. Go ahead.
I think that's the game I'd probably want to watch from
Game.
the
Oh, no question.
Yeah.
No question. That's like a specific screen. Like I want to watch the whole game. Yeah, no question.
Chiefs, Broncos.
Bruh, I hate seeing it. They're like undefeated this time too. That shit is so weak. Like you said, zebra Chiefs.
Zebra Chiefs. Giants, Panthers in Germany. In Gutenberg. Munich.
Munich. That game's gonna be like 10-6. Giants though.
Cowboys and Eagles.
Eagles.
And then you got the Ravens, Bengals Thursday.
Joe looked pretty pissed against us, bro. Like he was like, all right, throw a touchdown, get off the field. All right, get back on the field, throw a touchdown, get off. Like no high fives, kick the field goal. Let's keep playing. On Thursday night, Bengals upset. Bengals upset. He looks dialed in right now. He looks like, despite the running back, I think he has. I think Khalil Herbert can tote, and I think he's underrated. So I think that
he can play.
I think they'll be good. Chase Brown's been toting as well. So it's up to Jumar. Get in the end zone, Jamar. Damn, you blew a lot of bread last week. Speaking of, let's do that real quick. We don't do a lot of locks. Any early locks?
I do like for
Channel 856 locks.
Excuse me, I didn't look at picks yet, so forgive me. One of the quarterbacks I like this week a lot, his line, I don't know, let me look it up live. I apologize.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it live. Why not? You know what I mean? Because we can just be transparent.
While he looks for that, I'll give you some of the spreads so far early on Wednesday evening. Chiefs -8, Giants 6.5, Eagles 7. Ravens 5.5. So I mean, if we both play the Bengals, we might as well throw something on if that shit hits. We gonna be nice. Commanders are favored -3 early. Minnesota -4 early. Falcons. They got the Niners favored a touchdown. That's like we said. That's a little wild. That's a little wild. Bears are favored a touchdown though. Chargers are favored more than a touchdown. Jets Cardinals is even right now.
Mm-hmm. They haven't earned anything.
Might be a banger.
I'm looking at
in the dome too. I'm thinking now with A-Rod too out there in Arizona, warm weather, muscles loose.
He said muscles loose.
Lions 3.5, and then Rams early one. Interesting. Rams early one. I think they're going off the record. I think the Dolphins are better than they look with Tua. Better than the record looks at least.
I'm not going to be a psychic or anyone breaking news here, but I like the Brock Purdy over 1.5 touchdown pass
Safe.
this week.
Might as well throw the Henry tub on there too. Safe.
Yeah, literally -145. My cutoff for a bet is -150.
Yeah.
So, that's like a parlay builder, or if you wanted to go heavier on
Straight
that.
ski.
But that's the one I just like standing out. I think, you can get it done in an easier matchup with that defense. But I also like Kirk Cousins here, and I'd maybe even look at Sam Darnold, kind of the same bet. The over 1.5 touchdown passes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to just get a live line on that. Same thing for Darnold. Over 1.5 is -145. And then you're probably looking at, let me see. For Kirk Cousins, we got, his is -130 for over 1.5. So if you do prefer, those are 3 options I'd probably go with this weekend.
Little 2 touchdown throw and parlay. That's not a bad idea.
Versus,
King, we might have to run that.
Cupcake pass coverages.
Yep.
Pass defenses, I should say.
I would say early for me, CMC's back, correct? He will be back. Trending back.
We're not going to jinx nothing now.
So I'll stay away from it then.
No, you can't. I'm not going.
No. Give me a Jettis tub. I feel it's been a couple weeks if I'm not mistaken. He's just been racking up receptions. So give me a Jettis tub. Bills, Colts. Josh might wall out. Give me a Josh Allen running tub.
You definitely see the Josh.
Chuba Hubbard tub. In Germany, I think that's a lock. Yeah, I think that's a lock.
What's his odds on that? Is it plus money? He's been eating. I know he's coming off 2 touchdowns.
Plus 110.
Plus 110.
Yeah.
That's a good bet. I like that.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. Malik Neighbors might start tripping out to get his dance on over there. I could see that. Just for the ratings, we're in Germany. Malik Neighbors, rookie. All looks great.
Horn, but he's due.
Yeah, he is due. Yeah, those are some of my bets I like. So, yeah, if you guys are into that, we are in a legally gambling state, so we partake. So don't judge. We get into it anyway. Oh, bro, your brother went crazy.
Oh my god,
bro. Can he share that? Like, he just comes in wealthy. like share that, please. Like, you just come in just like
Jory.
Yo, for real. Yeah, shout out to Jory, it's my dog.
He be going crazy. He be from the top rope off the international basketball, and that's like, it's crazy. You like stream it too. I just be like, he's like, yeah, yo, this team looks good. And he just go off the eye test, and he just like,
he know hoop then. Yeah, you just know hoop then.
Look. Shout out to Jordan. That's all I can say. That's good hit though. Good money for that.
With that being said, appreciate you as always, my brother. Appreciate the consistency. Shout out King in the back,
yes, sir.
Producing the wizard behind the scenes. Shout out CP. I know you had the records game. I think they got the dub. Dylan Harper with a good debut. Watch out for Duke basketball. We come in, this just might be the team. I think this just might be the team loaded. But guys, I won't get into it. Let's get that off camera. But we appreciate y'all as always. As again, I said in the earlier part of the episode, like, comment, subscribe, hit that noti bell so you know when we upload it. Check out our personal IGs. Q, I don't know if you want, you could put our 2 IGs right here along with UNCP's, so y'all can know where to get the podcast. But stay tapped in. We're gonna keep growing. Staying consistent. This is just our first season doing it, but we're gonna keep at it. The league is not going nowhere, so we not going nowhere. And Jared, any shout outs you want to make? Anything you want to say to the peoples?
Let's go Jets. We at week 10, fellas. So or fellas, ladies, whoever. We locking in. I'm with it. He's with it. You better be with it.
Yeah,
Cause I'm trying to win these leagues.
yeah,
So
no question.
just come on, stay with it, tap in, and like you said, like, comment, subscribe. We appreciate all the views, all the comments, all the feedback. Appreciate y'all for watching and rocking with us.
And that's live from the 856. This was once again channel 856. Y'all stay blessed out there. God bless.
Yes,
And
sir.
have a good rest of y'all week. Enjoy football. Love.